year. I think he's going to be a meaningful contributor to this team. I think he's going to have the biggest impact on the Rams offense for a rookie since Cooper Kupp in 2018.
Speaking of rising stars, emerging talent, let's really talk about Puka Nacua on the Rams. And you know I love the Rams, Mike.
What made you become a Rams fan?
Yeah, so I started watching the Rams around like 2018 with Todd Gurley. I just turned on the TV. I saw them playing. They were down. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for this team because I see something in them. Okay. I really just fell in love with Sean McVay and just like his coaching style, his personality, how he like brings the team together. And I was just like, this is my team. So really excited to talk about the Rams. But before we get into that, let's just talk about injuries. I know like Cooper Kupp was out for this first game and everyone was just like doubting the Rams on that. But let's talk about your favorite team and the injuries on the Jets. So like how did you get into liking the Jets?
So when I was 9, my uncle introduced me to football and he was a Jets fan. So from there I picked up the team and the rest has been history. But as you said, speaking of injuries, sadly, devastated. New franchise quarterback Aaron Rodgers went down with a torn Achilles injury within his first drive of the game.
We are following deeply upsetting breaking news in the sports world today. An MRI confirms New York Jets new quarterback Aaron Rodgers will miss the rest of the season. The 4-time MVP and Super Bowl champion just joined the Jets this season after an off-season trade from Green Bay. He left last night's game after just 4 snaps into his first start in New York. Today's MRI confirms Rodgers tore his left Achilles tendon.
Yeah, just super sad, out for the season, like didn't really get to play. I know a lot of Jets fans were just really excited to have him there, and it's going to be a pretty interesting season, but I still have faith in the Jets.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little rocky considering what we're going to do with Zach Wilson, but we'll go into that later. But also, as of injuries, also J.K. Dobbins had the same exact injury, running back for the Ravens. But it was on grass, though. But I know that they're trying to transition from turf to grass, allegedly, as we speak. Or, like, people are, like, saying, like, players are coming out and saying things about turf and how it should be transitioned to grass. But, yeah, that's mostly about the injuries from what I understand. Now, speaking of
surprises and just like being shocked, there was a lot of shockers coming out of week 1. I feel like there was a lot of doubt in a lot of teams and just like a lot of surprises. We can start talking about the Lions versus the Chiefs. Like
on
the Chiefs,
prime time.
Yeah,
Thursday
the
night.
Chiefs literally just came from winning a Super Bowl. We're playing the Lions and the game ends Lions winning 21-20, defeating the Chiefs. How do you feel about that? And what do you feel like this season is going to look like for the Lions? 'Cause I think the Lions are really here, and they're gonna make a lot of noise this season.
Oh, 100%. I agree. I actually predict them to win the division, to win the North.
Oh, you're going crazy.
I mean, they have a great team. Dan Campbell is a great coach. They have Jared Goff, obviously, as their quarterback. Amon-Ra St. Brown, an uprising superstar. Even their running backs did pretty solid too. In David Montgomery, who just came over from the Bears. Jahmyr Gibbs, rookie. They both played very solid. And also, the one player to stand out the most is Brian Branch.
Yeah.
Rookie safety. Picking off Patrick Mahomes. What a way to
Literally.
enter the NFL.
Yeah, I just feel like the Lions just, like, their defense is really good. They did not let the Chiefs just, like, push them around. They really stood in the face of adversity, and their defense was really, really good. Yeah.
They needed to make a statement, and I think this was the statement to put the NFL on watch. So I have big things for them. I love Aiden Hutchinson from last year. This is his sophomore year, so like I feel he's gonna pick up right where he left off, just dominate and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just go in, because we were already talking about the Jets. Let's just hop over and just talk about the Jets also winning defeating the Bills 22-16 right after losing Aaron Rodgers. Like, let's just really talk about that game.
At what cost, I would say. Because, let alone the injury, we still ended up winning the game. Zach Wilson isn't what all Jet fans wanted.
Right.
Or expected for him to come in. But he put up a stat line of 14 for 21, 140 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Surprisingly, he played decent given the situation that he played in. But one of the biggest superstars of the night, Breece Hall, returned from ACL injury on 10 carries, 127 yards, 1 reception, and 20 yards. Also, another big star of the game was Garrett Wilson, having an insane touchdown grab on Tre'Davious White, one of the better, or like one of the best known corners in the league right now. Insane grab.
Garrett Wilson, wow! What a catch! Touchdown, Jets! That kid's amazing. There is no...
Considering the big question about the Jets offense, one of the biggest issues in the Jets offense coming into the season was their offensive line. And I feel like over the year, they'll gel together pretty well. They had a pretty solid game. We were in the middle of the pack for pass blocking, and we were number 1 in run blocking, according to PFF. Zach Wilson's performance was relatively okay, considering the situation that he was put in. But let's talk about the other side of the ball. The defense. Defense picked up right where it left off, possibly being top 2, if not the best NFL in the league, possibly. And the Jets do have a Super Bowl caliber defense, just like the Niners, I feel like. Because with the Niners, they have that dominating defense.
I am so scared of the 49ers. The Rams have to play the 49ers. I am so scared. Their defense is so good. Literally outrageous. Not only like defensive line, but also like players playing defense like when they need to get the running back just going. Like they really do have a lot of protection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like protection we did not see when it came to the Giants, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely. Also, another standout of the game, undrafted free agent wide receiver Xavier Gibson, in overtime, had a punt return touchdown.
That punt return touchdown was insane and so good. And again, just talking about like just defending him while he was running to get that touchdown,
mm-hmm.
that protection is very much needed. If teams have that protection, you're going to be good. But if you have no protection while you're
mm-hmm.
know running back or anybody's running to get that touchdown,
mm-hmm.
then they're going to be
mm-hmm.
they're going to be messed up.
Xavier, take me through that game-winning punt return. What was going through your mind when the ball was up in the air?
I seen a ball in there, and I seen I had a shot. I had Artie and Bryce Hall on the ends. I trust them guys to my core, and I just seen the opportunity. I just took it.
There was some questions about it because one of our players on special teams allegedly tripped another player, but I don't think he did it purposely. I think it was accidental, realistically speaking, because he was falling already, and you can't do nothing if you're naturally falling and you're running into the guys.
Yeah.
Like, for the Bills part of the game, Josh Allen had a shaky start. Well, not shaky start, but like a shaky game, I feel like. 4 turnovers in total. He threw 3 interceptions to safety Jordan Whitehead, and he also fumbled as well. And that's not what you expect from a top quarterback in the league, realistically speaking. You got to protect that ball no matter what, no matter at what cost. But wide receiver Stephon Diggs showed up and showed out, I'll admit.
Definitely. The Diggs brothers are always killing.
Oh, 100%.
They want to throw. Allen flips, caught, touchdown Diggs. First touchdown of the night, it's Stephon Diggs.
Speaking of the Diggs brothers, one might have took the loss, but the other one took the W on Sunday Night Football versus the Giants.
This is just such an embarrassing game. I'm so sorry to all the Giants fans. Like 40-0 and an opener in your stadium is crazy.
No, I agree. I feel like with the Giants, they were like not prepared. They looked a little shaky, honestly. Also, to be fair, their offensive line didn't hold up as well as they were hoping, because I feel like Daniel Jones was just like running just to get clearance to throw the ball. But
yeah, their O-line just had no protection for their quarterback, just getting sacked left and right, and then also like just no protection for like Saquon.
Oh, 100%. You got to feed the best player on your team, and he wasn't fed.
Not fed at all.
Like, obviously, like with the Rams and yourself, you would want to give the ball to your best player, which was being Cooper Kupp when he's healthy. I think the Giants failed to do that with Saquon.
Yeah.
Let alone like the protection of him running. But I feel like they'll bounce right back next week going into
they're definitely going to take the W next week. They have to. You cannot come off of a game like this and then not win.
Yeah.
But just throwing a whole I felt like I was watching the game and I got to a point where I was like, okay, the Giants need to stop throwing the ball, because every time they threw the ball, it was literally caught and intercepted. Like, it was just so embarrassing.
Literally.
First 2 touchdowns made by special teams and the defensive line from the Cowboys. Like, are you kidding me? First 2?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Dallas really showed out. Their defense is insane. Also one of the top defenses in the whole entire league.
Definitely.
As of right now, I think they're making a statement.
Yeah, definitely one of the top defenses in the league.
But Giants defense, I know they could be better. They are better than that. I have no fear of them like bouncing back though. I think this was just like a week 1 fluke of them in the division. The Giants really gave us a shocking performance this year. Well, not this year. This last game. But speaking of shocking performances, the Rams beating the Seahawks. I don't think anybody expected that. I did not. The Rams ended up winning 30-13, defeating the Seahawks. Since this is your team, what do you think about your team? Like, how they perform?
I was really excited, and I was actually really happy about this. I feel like since I'm such a diehard Rams fan, I have so much faith in them. Mm-hmm. I went into this game thinking like, okay, maybe we have a chance. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like by the time I got to like third quarter, I was like, oh yeah, we're here. Like, the Rams are here. There was some amazing performances from rookie Puka Nacua. Like, Tutu Atwell was just doing such an amazing job, like catching the ball. And then let's really talk about Matthew Stafford, like just coming off of an injury and just throwing the ball like that was just amazing. I think he threw 344 yards, which was like top 5 of quarterbacks in passing right now. So that was just really amazing to see. We just had Cooper Kupp on the sideline, just like coaching these guys and talking to them. But I feel like there was some really good performances all around. There's still some work that needs to be done when it comes to like the defense. We have Aaron Donald leading the defense, but when it comes to other people, other people do need to step up. And just a little bit more chemistry between Matthew and some of the rookies that will be filling in for Cooper Kupp until he gets back. But just all around, I think Sean McVay just did a great job coaching this team. Watch out for the Rams. The Rams are not winning next week. I'm sad to say. I feel like versus the 49ers. They have a chance, but it's not going to be, they're not going to get washed out like the Giants. Let's say that. They're not, but they're just not all the way there to really attack the 49ers. The 49ers has a really good defense. They have really good running backs, so it's going to be a very interesting game. It's going to be a good game. So yeah.
No, I agree 100%. But backtracking a little bit to Stafford, he threw for 334.
Yeah.
And the biggest question of the game was his shoulder and how he's going to perform without his star wide receiver Cooper Kupp. From watching that game, I think he did perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. He looked very comfortable. That shoulder looks great, and obviously, you mentioned it before about Puka Nacua.
Yeah, 117, was it? 117? Yep. Wow.
What a way to gain a quarterback's trust, because you got to throw the ball to somebody.
Exactly.
And also, Tutu Atwell, I believe it's his 3rd year in the league, I'd like to say.
Yeah. I think it's about 3 or... Is it 2 or 3?
I think. but he also showed out, played well. I actually had Tutu Atwell having a breakout year, and I think this is just the beginning of it, considering outside of Cooper Cup there isn't really anybody to throw through.
But we did talk a little bit about like how the Rams may not take the W for next week, like next game. Let's talk other predictions.
Speaking of next week,
yeah.
Jets versus Cowboys. What do you think? Do you think they're going to win or are they going to lose?
I feel like this is going to be a good defensive game. They both have really good defenses, so I'm really excited to see how they play. But I do think the Cowboys are going to take this one. I'm sorry. I feel like the Cowboys are going to take this one.
No, I agree with you with the defensive performances. Both defenses showed up and showed out last week. Offenses, Dak looked a little shaky.
Yeah.
I feel like, but he still ended up pulling the win. Same thing with Zach Wilson. We don't know what he's going to do. I know fans really don't want to see him, but it is what it is. They just gotta pound the rock with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook in order to win this game. But I feel like that the Jets will win that game.
Very interesting. I feel like this is gonna be a closer in numbers. I don't feel like this is gonna be like
any
30
blowout.
points. Yeah, this is not gonna be a blowout. I feel like being that they do have really good defense, this is going to keep the game a little bit close.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. So we're going to see more of a defensive matchup, low-scoring game.
Yeah.
I feel like. All right, the Giants versus the Cardinals. Can the Giants redeem themselves after week 1?
The Giants has to redeem themselves. I feel like going in, they are a better team than the Cardinals. That's just my opinion. So they have to. Like, there's no other choice.
Oh, 100%.
They're going to have to get it together.
I mean, there's only going up from last week. I think that the Giants do take the win this week. I think Brian Dable is going to be more prepared, and the Cardinals aren't all that anymore.
Yeah.
So, the Giants defense will step up, I feel like, because they have Josh Dobbs as quarterback right now. Not your typical starter, more of a bridge / backup, but more of backup, I'd say.
Right.
Because of Kyler Murray's injury in the offseason. No, from last year.
I definitely feel like I'm going to see a lot of incompletes, a lot of fumbles in this game. Maybe a lot of fumbles in this game. I'm not expecting them to come out here and just be amazing. But they're definitely not going to be embarrassed again.
No, 100% not. And then let's talk about the Bills versus the Raiders. Do you think the Bills can make a comeback and get their season back on track by beating the Raiders?
I think the Bills can make a comeback versus the Raiders. Just like they didn't wait.
Predictions for the Bills versus Raiders. One's coming off of a loss, one is coming off of a win. I have the Bills winning this game. I feel like they bounced back after last week's loss to the Jets. I think that their defense is going to step up a lot more. And I feel like that the Bills will get themselves together and along with that just dominate the trenches on the defense. But offensively, I think Josh Allen will pick up as well, right where he left off. They just got to stop that run game and stop Devontae Adams for the most part. And also Jacoby Myers, considering he's coming off of a great game last week. What do you think?
I feel like I don't really follow the Bills or the Raiders, but I definitely do think that the Bills can redeem themselves. I feel like let's just wait and see what happens.